So today we are going to see the demo class on Linux administration. So generally the most widely used operating system is Windows. Windows is a graphical user interface. Anybody they can easily understand, easy to work, easily learn Windows operating system. So everybody we are using Windows. So if you have your laptop or desktop, whatever it may be, we are using Windows systems. So in Windows, we have two types of operating systems: client OS, server OS. So client operating systems are Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 7, Windows XP. Server operating systems are 2019. These are the versions. So 2016, 2012, 2008, 3, 2024.0. So generally, everybody knows Windows. That is the reason I'm starting from Windows. So what is client? What is server? So servers provides resources to clients. Clients access the resources from servers. For example, every day we are going to internet or you are using your mobiles now. We are watching the movies, we are downloading the softwares, whatever apps you are downloading the apps. So from where we are downloading means from servers. So servers provide resources to clients. Clients access the resources from servers. So we are going to learn server administration, but that is not on Windows. We are going to learn on Linux server administration. So like Windows, we have another operating system is there, that is Linux. So Linux is a flavor of Unix. So Unix or Linux, everybody will confuse. Linux is a flavor of Unix. So Unix flavors are Solaris, IBM AX Unix, HP Unix, CoUnix. So Linux is also a flavor of Unix, but it is a open source. So what is a open source operating system? So anybody they can download the source kernel from internet. You can develop your own operating system. I can develop my own operating system. Everybody they can develop their own operating systems. So remember, Linux is a flavor of Unix. Anybody they can download the source kernel from internet. So you can develop your own operating system. I can develop my own operating system. Somebody else they can develop their own operating systems. Like that in Linux, we have number of flavors. So what are the flavors of Linux? Red Hat Enterprise Linux, OEL, Oracle Enterprise Linux, Ubuntu Linux, CentOS, Fedora Linux, SUSE Linux, Debian Linux, Kali Linux. So like that we have more than 300 flavors of Linux are available. But here we are going to learn Red Hat Enterprise Linux because 80% in production environment we are going to use the Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Okay. So we are going to learn the Red Hat Enterprise Linux. But once we learn any flavor of Unix or Linux, we can work on any other flavors also. Remember the point? Whenever you want to learn any flavor of Unix, we can work on any other flavors. Now coming to the point. So whenever you go for any company, we have Windows servers are there, Linux servers are there. But Windows is a user-friendly operating system. So anybody they can easily download, easily work on the Windows. But why the companies they are using the Linux operating systems? So What is the difference between Windows and Linux? We are going to see now. Yeah, everything I will send. All recorded videos I will send. No problem, Mr. Khan. So the difference between Windows and Linux is you have to know the structure of operating systems. Structure of Windows. Hardware is, for example, you bought a laptop. Top of the laptop, we are going to install the OS, that is nothing but a Windows. For example, Windows kernel. Top of that, we are working. This is the structure of Windows operating system. Now coming to the Linux. So I bought a laptop. Top of that, I install Linux OS. It is a kernel. Top of that, we have a shell is there. Top of that, we are going to work. So shell is the mediator between user and kernel. So shell is the security layer in Linux. So shell will not allow you to run any unknown commands. Shell will not allow you to run any unknown programs. That is the reason viruses will not attack on Linux operating system. But if you come into the Windows, what user will tell, kernel will do. That is the main problem. So that is the reason the crores of rupees valuable databases and applications we are going to run securely on Linux operating system. So any applications, important databases, web applications, web servers, middleware applications, enterprise applications. So all these applications we are going to run Linux server operating systems. That is the reason we are going to learn the Linux server administration. So Linux is a more secure than Windows. So how do you differentiate the security between Windows and Linux? This is the diagram. Windows directly what user will tell, kernel will do. But Linux and Linux, what user will tell, kernel will not do. So between the user and kernel, we have a security layer is there. That is shell. Shell is the security layer in Linux. That is the reason. So we are going to learn the Linux server administration. Now coming to Windows, Windows operating system identify the files with extension names. .exe executable files, .dat database files, .bat batch files, .mp3 media player files, .doc Microsoft Word documents, .xls Excel sheets, .ppt PowerPoint files. Hello, my voice is audible? Yeah, okay. So Linux, Windows operating system identify the files with extension names. So, but how the Linux operating system identify the files? So Linux operating system identify the files with type of files. Remember this point. Linux identify the files with type and mode of files. Mode means permissions. So like what are the type of files? Normal file or block special file or device files, character special files. So like socket files, depending upon the type of file, we can identify. Linux will not support extension file names. Remember this point. No extension name file names in Linux. How do Linux operating system identify the files? Linux identify the files with type, mode of files. Mode means permissions. So what are the permissions? So just now I explained you, operating system level, sorry, architecture level, we have a shell is there, security level. So after installation of operating system, whenever the users they are going to be start working, we have another security layer is there, that is file permissions. So for example, I created a user account with Sahu or Shiva or Ramu, whatever it may be. So he created one file. For example, I'm telling you. So you created one file in Linux. Whenever you create a file, by default permissions will apply. So how that permissions will come? First portion goes to user. User means owner. So you are having read write permissions. So who created the file? He is the owner. He is having read write permissions. You can read, you can write. For example, you are a member of AWS group. So second portion goes to owners group members. So for example, I am a member of AWS group. In my group, other members also there. They are having read-only permissions. Like AWS, I have DevOps groups, managers, team leaders, HR department, whatever it may be, Java developers, whatever, different groups are there. So those are called under other groups. So owner only having read permissions, owners group having read-only permission, other groups having read-only permissions. For example, whenever we are working with Linux, if you send a file to me, I can have only read permission. See, if your group members or my group members, they are having only read permissions. But whenever we are working with Windows, for example, if you send a resume to me, if you send any document to me, Windows, generally we are using Windows only. So I can do anything. So there is no file level permissions in Windows, but there is a file level permissions in Linux. That is the reason the crores of rupees valuable databases and applications we are going to run securely on Linux operating system. So these are the logical device naming conventions. I will explain you later in our next class. So what we are going to learn in Linux administration. So before going to learn Linux administration classes, we need basics of Linux. So basics means creating the files, creating the directories, copying the files, copying the directories. In Windows, you can see simply right click new document or bitmap, whatever it may be. Simply you can do. But in Linux, so same thing we are going to do with commands, how to create the file, how to create the directory, how to copy the file, and how to move the file, how to rename the files, how to rename the directories, how to remove the files, how to remove the directories. Everything we are going to do command prompt only. So before going to learn Linux administration, first 1 week classes, we are going to discuss about basics of Linux. Then I am going to start the administration part. So in administration, generally, what is the operating system directory in Windows? They will ask the question. For example, interview point of view. So the operating system directory in Windows is open my computer, C drive. C is corrupted, means OS is corrupted. So you have to format it. You can install the Windows freshly. But to D drive data, E drive data, these are safe. Like that in Linux, they will ask the question, what is the operating system directory in Linux? Slash means root directory. Under root, we have different structure is there. I will next class I will explain. Root is the main directory in Linux. Under root, we have different types of subdirectories. So what are the subdirectories? What is the importance of subdirectories? With root file system, which optionals we are going to select? Why we are going to select the optionals? We are going to learn in our classes. Next, so the Linux administration divided into two parts: standalone administration and network administration. So 80% of the interview questions they will ask from the standalone. Remember this point. 80% of the interview questions they will ask from the standalone administration. What is standalone? Standalone means single server. So first chapter, installation of Linux. Just now I explained you what is the operating system directory in Linux slash. So under slash we have different types of subdirectories. Interview point of view, they will ask the question, which is the operating system directory in Linux slash. What is the operating system directory in Windows? C drive. C is corrupted, Windows is corrupted. Slash is corrupted, Linux is corrupted. Remember this point. Next, after installation of Linux, I want to create partitions. That is called disk management. Like Windows, D drive, E drive, F drive, G drive. How do you create? So you can go for right click my computer, manage, disk management. I have different drives. So D drive, E drive. So if I have a free space, I can create another partition. But already I created partitions. Like this, how do you create the partitions in Linux? We are going to discuss in the class. Disk management. This is very important. So simply I showed in Windows, just right click my computer, manage disk. But Linux, each and everything we are going to configure with command prompt only. So what are the commands to see the available disks? How many partitions are there? How to create the new partitions? How to format that partitions? How to store the data in that partitions? Everything we are going to learn in the disk management class. Next to boot process. This is the compulsory question in Linux administration interview. They will ask the question, what is the booting process of Linux? For example, every day you are powering on your laptop or desktop, your system is going to be boot. You are getting the login screen. You are giving your username and password. In between, what happened in the system? They will ask the question. So what is the booting process of Linux? When you power on the system, from powering on the system to login process, what is the booting process? How many phases it will boot? What happened exactly? They will ask the questions. So we are going to discuss in our booting process class of Linux administration. Next, run levels. Like in Windows, we have different modes are there. Safe mode with networking, safe mode with command prompt, last known good configuration mode, directory services restore mode, debugging mode, like that. The same concept in Linux is different run levels. What are the different run levels in Linux? So in each run level, what happens? So everything we are going to discuss in our classes run level. Next, group management. So a group is nothing but a collection of users who can share the resources to the others. Like if you go for any company, we have different groups: management group, HR group, sales group, development groups, administration groups, like that. How to create the group accounts, how to manage the group accounts, how to manage the passwords of group, everything we are going to discuss in our group management class. Next, user management. This is also an important task in Linux administration. How to create the user accounts, how to manage the user accounts. So how to manage the passwords of users. For example, we have a security accounts are there. Like I have, for example, I am having online share account is there. So every 2 weeks I must change the password. Otherwise, if I am not changing the password, my account will be inactive. If I am not login, whatever the period they given, like that, as a Linux administrator, you are going to manage the passwords. How to manage the passwords? How to monitoring the user accounts? how to manage the user accounts, how to modify the user accounts, and how to restrict the users by using the quotas. For example, we know we have the Gmail accounts. So everybody we are having. So you can go to your Gmail account, you can go to the Google Drive. So there is a limitation is there. So storage 15 GB is my limit. Everybody. So everybody who are having Gmail account, 15 GB is the limit. So like that, as a Linux administrator in real-time environments, so as a Linux administrator in real-time environments, whenever we are going to work with the users, you are going to restrict the users. So that is nothing but a user quotas. How to restrict the users to use unlimited space on the disk? How to restrict the users to create unlimited files on the disk? So we are going to discuss in our class user quotas. Next to advanced file permissions, ACL access control list. How to assign specific file permission for the particular users and particular groups, and SUID, SGID, sticky bits we are going to learn in the advanced file permissions class. Next to swap management. See, by default, whenever we are going to install the Windows operating system, automatically it will choose the virtual memory. Virtual memory means, so what is physical memory? Physical memory means RAM, 4 GB, 2 GB, 8 GB, 16 GB, whatever it may be. What is virtual memory? They will ask the question in interview. So some of the hard disk space, it will utilize as a memory, every operating system, whatever it, Windows, Linux, Solaris, whatever it may be. See, my voice is clear. Everybody is here. My voice. Can you confirm, Avinash Reddy? My voice is clear. So like that, we are going to discuss about the classes swap management. So like Windows virtual memory. So what is swap memory in Linux? How to increase the swap memory? So everything we are going to discuss in the class swap management. Next to process management. So you can go to Windows, right click, task manager. So you can see the process. These are the processes are going on the server. So many processors going on the server. So how much CPU utilization is going on? How much memory utilization is going on? How much disk utilization going on? So everything I can monitor here. This is a graphical mode. But whenever you are working with Linux, so everything we are going to see with the command line prompt. What are the processes going on my server? Whatever the unnecessary processing. For example, I can go to right click task manager. I want to select task manager. I want to end task. When killing the task. See, that is killed. Like that in Linux, we are going to give the commands. How to kill the process. How to remove the process. So everything we are going to discuss in the process management class. Next to Red Hat Package Manager. So operating system is nothing but a collection of packages. How to install the packages, how to manage the packages, how to remove the packages, so how to upgrade the packages. Everything we are going to discuss in the class RPM. In Windows, add remove programs, how to install new programs, how to remove old programs, like that same class in Linux is RPM. Next, M server. M means LODOG updater modified. This is online package manager. How to upgrade your packages online. So if you have internet connection, so automatically you can upgrade your server. So in Linux you can see, sorry, in Windows you can see, if you have internet connection, automatically some updates will come. So do you have a new update? Will in mobile also we can check. New updates are coming. Do you want to upgrade or later, like that? Same in Linux we are going to set up the server, M server, and logical volume manager, combining the physical disks as a single logical device. How to configure LVM? So how to combine the disks as a single logical device? How to set up? How to manage the LVM partitions? We are going to discuss. Like LVM, we have another configuration is called, that is RAID levels, redundant array inexpensive disks. So LVM, the data will write sequential order, but in RAID levels you have to tell the data how to write. Same data you can write on multiple disks, or sequential order, or parallel order, whatever it may be, mirroring. So everything we are going to discuss in RAID levels. Next, backup and restore. These are the daily tasks in real-time scenarios. What are the backup tools in Linux? How to take the backup of files and directories, how to copy the data from one disk to another disk, how to take the backup of entire drives, like in Windows drives, here we are calling as file system backups. So these we are going to discuss in backup and restore. Next to scheduling jobs. So what are the edge jobs, what are the cron jobs, different types of jobs we are going to use. So everyday tasks we are going to schedule the jobs. So every day evening 6:30 p.m. I want to take the backup of Oracle updated files, write the job. Every Sunday morning I want to take the backup of entire file system, write the job. Every date, first date and 15th date, the users who logged into the system, what they are doing, I want to write a job. You can write the job. Like that, we are going to configure the scheduling jobs. At jobs, cron jobs, one-time job, repetitive jobs. So second part, we are going to discuss about Linux networking. How to configure the Linux operating system in the network. How to assign host name. How to assign IP address. How to permanent them. What are the files we are going to use. So Windows, simply you can go for right click, click on personalize. Sorry, my computer, right click, properties. See computer name. So this is computer name, full computer name. Change settings. So here I can change the computer name. So you can, here I can give the computer name. But Linux, how to give? That is a command prompt. How to give the computer name, how to permanent it, how to give the IP address, how to permanent, everything we are going to learn. Next, telnet server. How to log in from one system to another system. So by configuring telnet server, you can log in from one computer to another computer. So it supports Linux and Windows, whatever it may be. Next to SSH and SCP, secure shell. So telnet is not a secure connection. That is the reason we are going to configure SSH. And SCP, copy the data from one server to another server. For example, you have one server, I have one server. I want to copy my data to your server. You want to copy your data to my server. We are in the Linux environment. How to copy? SCP, secure copy. FTP, file transfer protocol. So every day we are going to download the songs, movies, everything. That is FTP server. How to set up that server, we are going to learn. So NFS is also a file server, that is online file server. How to access the data online, not offline. So FTP is offline. You are downloading, then you can upload it. But NFS is online. Samba server, sharing the resources from Linux to Windows servers. So that is called CIFS, Common Internet File System. So NAT, so NAS, Network Attached Storage, will use this file system. Sharing the storage from different platforms, like that. How to share the data from Linux to Windows? We have to configure Samba server. Now DNS, domain name service, name resolution servers. So by default, we can remember the systems and sites with names. We cannot remember with addresses. Remember, by default, each and every operating system can communicate with IP addresses, but they will not communicate with names. For example, I have a mobile, you have a mobile. So I will ask your name. For example, your name is Siva. So by using your name, I cannot call you. I have to ask your number. Siva, what is your number? 98490 something you tell. So I can save the number, but so many numbers I can have. By remembering the name, I have to save the number with name. Siva, Ram, Raj, Harish, like that. So in computer network also, each and every system can communicate with IP addresses only. They cannot communicate with names. But I have to remember the names. IP addresses I cannot remember. You have to set up the DNS server. Then Apache web server. How to configure the websites with Linux, IP-based websites, host-based, single IP, multiple websites, single IP, single websites, and port-based websites. Everything we are going to learn with Apache web server. Next NIS. Naming information. That is for centralization of administration. So how to configure centralization of administration? So nowadays everything is centralized. So you can take our account. For example, I have a ICICI Bank account in Amirpet branch, for example. So I can deposit the money from any ICICI branch across the world, wherever the branches are available. That is centralized. How to set up that centralized server? We are going to learn with NIS. Next, DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. How to assign the IP addresses automatically. Assigning the IP addresses to the systems automatically. For example, you can take every mobile. You have mobile, I am having mobile. You have the dynamic IP addresses. So you can go through your mobile, you can set IP address, you can check your IP address. So depending upon the places, the IP addresses will change. So everything, the IP address is going to be changed. So dynamically host configuration protocol automatically will assign the IP addresses to the clients. So everything, so we are going to configure DHCP server, how to configure, what is the process of DHCP server. So we are going to learn with DHCP. Next, Linux Kickstart server, how to install number of Linux operating systems at a time. So I want to install 100 Linux operating systems at a time. How to install? So normally it is not possible. 100 Linux operating systems means I have to go to every system. I have to insert the CD-ROM, DVD-ROM. I have to follow the shift. I have to install. But how to install 100 Linux operating systems at a time? So we are going to learn in the Linux Kickstart server. So this is the entire topics we are going to learn. So this is the demo class of Linux. If you have anybody having any doubts, please ask me. When we are going to discuss about package manager, we are going to discuss about patching also. Package management, M server. So that is including with patching. Is there any other doubts? Please ask me. Any doubts are there?
Course duration.
Course duration 35 days.
Course duration.
35 days.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
I am direct to Linux administration course join. I am not knowledge of the Linux basics.
Yeah. So we are going to start from basics. So we are going to start from zero knowledge. We don't know anything. We are going to start the class from that particular point of time. Understand?
Well, sir. Sound is not clear, sir.
So you don't know anything. I don't know anything. From that particular point of time, we are going to start the class from scratch. Understand, Lalita Das? We are going to start from the zero level onwards.
Yes, sir. Any problem ante class continue or discontinue, sir? Your tell means
I am not understanding you.
take classes continue.
From tomorrow, pay the money. Today, you can get the details of how to pay the money. If you pay the money, tomorrow onwards, we are going to start the classes. Classes are regularly going on. Same time.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Is there any doubts? Other persons? Priyanka, Swami, do you have any doubts?
Sir, is there notes are available or not?
Everything available, man. I will send everything to you. Already my pre-recorded videos, everyday recording video, all 350 real-time interview questions and answers. Every material I will send to you.
Okay.
Okay.
And fees we have to set 3,500. So
5,000, madam.
300 and
5,000. Sorry, 5,000.
3,500.
No. 5,000.
Okay. When we ask
Come,
inquiry, that time they will say to 3,500. That's why I'm asking.
who given demo class? This is the senior faculty from last 20 years of experience. So maybe some other faculty, maybe those fees is 3,500. I am having 20 years of experience, in-depth administration I'm going to give. So you have to check it from once. Who is the faculty? You have to ask the name. My name is Srinivas.
Okay. And what about placement?
You can get your own job, madam. Whatever the training I'm going to give, you can get your own job. So no need to depend on other persons. That much of knowledge we are going to learn. Okay. Is there any other doubts? Other persons? So we'll continue tomorrow. Next class, tomorrow we are going to discuss about what is file system, what are the different types of file systems, what is operating system, what is Windows, what is Linux, what is the Windows Server file systems, what is the Linux Server file systems. We are going to discuss tomorrow class. Thank you all.